Forget all that George Soros-backed dark money that goes into investigative journalism. I am here for you today to engage in an act of radical and revolutionary transparency and tell you exactly what I, an investigative journalist, makes here on YouTube and Substack and Patreon and all of those other places, so you can get an idea of exactly what my motivations are for actually getting this information out to you on like a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis. Because there is this common refrain that I see in my comments probably every day that accuse me and basically accuse, it's not only me, it's every independent journalist out there. They accuse them of being in this for the money. We're going for the clicks. You can see that click counter down there below this video and know that because I posted this video on YouTube, that I want people to watch it. And by watching it, in theory, money goes to me because you do that. And therefore, journalism is corrupt to its very core. Now, probably most of you don't necessarily believe that. We all live in a capitalist society where, historically speaking anyway, journalists have had to buy, things like groceries and pay rent and carry insurance and the basic things to keep on doing business. So if the critique is that capitalism is by its very nature exploitative, and therefore everything that happens under a capitalist system is morally corrupt, then, well, I guess you're right in that case. Then everything, everywhere, all at once is morally corrupt. However, if you want to take a more nuanced view, it's worth it to go check the numbers. Because I want to get it through the internet's head that being on YouTube, being a public persona out there, is not a way for instantaneous and permanent wealth. Like, I know that you scroll through YouTube and you look on the side of the screen and you scroll and you see all these videos with hundreds of thousands and millions of views. And sometimes there's people even like showing off all their Lamborghinis they own and all of the fancy vacations they take off. And it's incredibly seductive to think that that image is the reality of a YouTube creator. It's like everyone who goes onto the internet and creates a channel must be making millions. I mean, it just seems so easy, doesn't it? You go online, you find a niche. My niche is investigative journalism, but people do this on Minecraft as well. They go on YouTube and the views come in and the money comes in through YouTube ads and also through sponsorships. And all of a sudden you're living the Lamborghini dream of eternal and permanent generational wealth. And I'm definitely going to be showing you the numbers that I have earned on Substack, on YouTube ads, on Patreon very soon. But before I actually disclose all that to you, I want to posit another idea. I do this because I want to reach you with information that will help you out in your life. And along the way, yeah, I want to make a living wage. My dream that for every single creative person who really puts in the honest effort, I believe that they all deserve a living wage. I have the audacity to believe that writers should be middle class. And there's another dynamic that certainly we have to account for. Starting back in 1999, newspapers gave all their content out for free on the internet. Streaming services like Spotify, even YouTube, distributed content for free. And this really hurt the business model for creative industries. But the thing to remember, the big outlets, the people who, the Woodward and Bernstein style papers that supported journalists with like living salaries and really good fact-checking departments and legal defenses and all of the things that made papers honestly great, while also keeping them beholden to some big money powers, they all fell apart. And they fell apart for real probably like 4 years ago, where because of the certain balance of power between social media and newsprint, it turned out that news sources and truth-telling outlets that had been legacy and been around for a long time, they started, having to compete against the likes of Mr. Beast and Logan Paul in the social media feeds where people had to discover them. That was really bad for journalism, and that's why I'm here on YouTube right now. Okay, so that's the big concept. Let's talk about nuts and bolts. Since the largest part of my income comes from YouTube ads, let's start there. As a rule of thumb, for every 1,000 views that a video gets, the creator earns roughly $4.50. Let me give you an example. Maybe you saw this video by Megalag just like 2 months ago. It was called Exposing the Honey Influencer Scam. And I did a follow-up video on it that you can see here, where I sort of built on his work because his video was amazingly successful. And I know an opportunity when I see one. He left a little gap and I filled in that gap. But you can see that his video had 17 million views. This is a mega video. This is one of the most successful videos on YouTube in the last year. Considering that it was 23 minutes long, this was a big money bag for Megalag. So let's do the math on it. Since every million views earns approximately $4,500, that means, one moment, boop, 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 boop. That means he earned $76,500 on that video. Holy moly! With that one video, Megalag hit the American middle class. I mean, even maybe the lower upper middle class. But then you have to remember that Megalag in the last year only released 4 videos, and those other 3 videos only earned about 1 million more views, give or take. Which means that by the back of envelope calculations that I have just made, Megalag earned roughly $80,000 last year, which is cool. I mean, $80,000 is great, is awesome. But when you consider that his video, this big video, was going up against PayPal, a company that earned $8.37 billion last year in total revenue and netted over $1 billion. Well, the imbalance of power is pretty shocking, and Megalag had to spend quite a bit of money on legal services and protecting himself from the tidal wave of threats and retaliation that he could potentially experience. It's really similar to what happened when I reported Athletic Greens, and they sent the largest legal team on the planet after me. If you think about what they spent, which was probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal expenses and PR, spin, and that sort of thing. And I've heard they lost $44 million in subscriptions after my video came out. The imbalance is pretty mega. A lot of people left Honey after Megalag put out his video. And I don't know exactly what sort of trouble Megalag got into, if he's really in any actual legal trouble or not. It's clearly better to be PayPal in this exchange. All right, so let's go over the stats on my YouTube channel. In total, my channel has accumulated 6,100,000 views. That's a pretty awesome number. I can't even imagine 6 million people in one place. Like, that's bigger than the city that I currently live in. That is insane. And from those views comes 742,000 hours. Now, to do the math on that, that's 84 human years, which is more than the life expectancy of a single person. So you could argue that my YouTube channel in the last year killed a person. I mean, statistically, it took a whole human life off of this earth from people who watch my videos. That's nuts. And I gained 81,000 subscribers, which, my channel had huge growth last year. And thank you to all of you who subscribed. But now the big number, I earned a total of $28,798.89. Which is sort of crazy if you think about that in big terms. Like, you watching this right now is worth to me 1/10 of a cent. Like, that's crazy how little that actually is. Oh my God, I'm so depressed. Anyway, but that's not the only way I make money. I also have premium subscription services through Patreon and Substack, and I would love you to support my journalism, because instead of your view only being worth 1/10 of a cent to me, my subscriptions start at like $8 a month on Substack, which is where I prefer you to be for just a number of logistical reasons and tax reasons and whatnot. That $8 a month is so much more important to keeping me on track. And you can see over on Substack, I have 4,760 free subscribers. These people don't pay. They just get sort of my newsletter and notifications of when things are coming up. Of those, I have 117 paid subscribers. These are people who pay me that $8 a month, who are like the salt of the earth. And I'm pretty sure they're all really attractive and smart. I don't have like perfect proof on that, but it just seems that they're really attractive and smart. This gives me a total annualized income of $9,960, basically $10,000 off of Substack. Now that is an assessment going forward from what I'm going to earn. I didn't do the backward calculation. It is a little bit less than that. But, this is a good ballpark figure. So add to my $28,000, another $10,000, and I've made $38,000. But wait, there's more. Oh, I also have Patreon. You can see on Patreon, I earned $3,314 out of my total membership, roughly $323 a month out of about 200 patrons over there. So thank you to all of you who are on Patreon. I really appreciate you being there. If you wanted to go over to Substack, you would make my life just incrementally easier. And so if you tally it all up, I made $42,072 in the last 365 days, which is, I think, technically American middle class. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And honestly, I expect that those numbers will probably increase over the next year, assuming that I can still put out important videos that really get people interested in my work. Then maybe this will shoot up. Although I will say that last month, I think I only made like $700 on YouTube ads because the videos that I put out didn't spark the viral memes that I personally think they should have. And like, honestly, if you want to check out some of my videos, this one was amazing. It tied together the entire griftocracy of America, like how the power structure is built on these pyramid schemes of grift, starting with some wellness influencers and going all the way up to the president of the United States himself. Anyway, I put a lot of effort into it. I probably spent a month on that video, and it's hanging out around 20,000 views. And now you know exactly how much I've gotten paid. And if you look at me and you see my 15,000 subscribers and you think, wow, Scott is killing it. He is what I want to be. Well, now you know exactly what that looks like. 100,000 subscribers got me about this much money. I mean, honestly, it's livable. It's not horrible. $42,000 is great. I do also make money on selling books. Like I've written 6 books, and I get constant royalties off of that. It's less than what I make on YouTube, but when you add up that and you add up this other stuff, I do fine. I do fine. It's great. The other way, I could make money on the channel is by taking on sponsors. And one sponsor that I took last year, Crowd Health, he paid me something like $2,500 for a spot that I did a few videos ago. And it's a company that I actually believe in because it's the company that I use for what accounts for healthcare that I take. I don't get insurance. I use Crowd Health. And I think it was a smart play. I still think it's speculative, but I've tried to take other sponsors, and on multiple occasions, I've tried out their product, and I've realized that the product was sort of a scam, and I didn't want to back a scam, even though I would make, I think, like $4,500 on something. So I actually turned a sponsor down last month. Wait, did I say $4,500? I turned down 10% of my income last month because I didn't want to sponsor because I made an ethical stand. Maybe I'm not very good with money, right? Maybe this whole video that you just watched shows you how bad that Scott is on money and his monetary decisions, because I have this crazy idea that the content I put out should have integrity behind it, and like I shouldn't promote scams. But I guess when you look at my other videos, it's clear that there's all these grifters who have very large social media followings who, when they promote scams, they make a tremendous amount of money because selling products is something that people are willing to pay for. Like if I had a supplement, like let's say I made a supplement that made you immune to grifters and you could buy a bottle for like $8.99, that might make me more money. God, I'm so bad at business. Anyway, these are my thoughts. I make decent money. I'd like to make more, but it's decent. If you would like to support the independent, feisty journalism that I do here on the internet, please go become a Substack subscriber. It means the world to me, and those people are both intelligent and attractive, as I've previously noted. So, yeah. I don't know. Thanks for being here. I just barfed out my entire financial life to you. From PokeyBear LLC in Denver, Colorado, this was me. Thank you so much to all of my supporters on Patreon and on Substack who make this work possible. If you want early access and to get your name on the honor roll, please check out those links down below. And, it just means the world to me that you're here. From PokeyBear LLC in Denver, Colorado, this was Scott Carney Investigates.